Welcome back to the Ancestral Findings Podcast. Close your eyes and picture this scene. Warm light filtering through a kitchen window, the smell of ginger, cloves, and cinnamon drifting in the air. A grandmother's old recipe card, worn at the edges, guides your hands as you roll out dough that tastes like memories. In the background, a quiet carol hums from somewhere deep in your family's past. Perhaps it's a tune your grandfather once loved, its melody still echoing through the decades. Today, we will step inside that cozy moment, exploring how the recipes we bake and the songs we sing connect us to ancestors who celebrated the holidays long before we were born. Together, we'll uncover the flavors, sounds, and simple gestures that keep their voices close, allowing their stories to warm our homes every Christmas. Let's begin. Imagine entering a kitchen where the air is warm with ginger, cinnamon, and cloves. A flour-dusted counter holds old baking tools, slightly worn, passed from hand to hand over generations. Close by, a stack of family recipe cards leans against a wooden spice box, each card bearing faded ink and tiny splatters of batter. As cookies slowly crisp in the oven, a familiar carol drifts through your mind, an old melody that Grandpa used to hum while rearranging ornaments on the tree, his voice mingling with the scent of pine and cooling gingerbread. These moments linger long after the holiday lights are packed away. They connect families across decades and oceans, reminding us that what we eat, sing, and share during this season was once carefully chosen by those who came before. Each gingerbread cookie may carry flavors from a country left behind, or a tradition sparked by scarcity and resourcefulness. Each carol, softly sung by candlelight, can recall a distant land where winter nights stretched long, yet voices found comfort in familiar tunes. Start with the old family recipes, if you're lucky enough to have them. Leaf through the cards or faded pages tucked between cookbooks. Maybe the instructions call for a spice that seems unusual today, or use a cooking method that feels old-fashioned. Think of how these details might link to ancestors who made do with what they had, or who added extra sweetness to brighten a cold December evening. If your grandmother's gingerbread requires molasses, perhaps that was a staple in her childhood kitchen. If a certain cookie is shaped a particular way, maybe that shape carried meaning long ago, like a wish or blessing baked into every bite. Even the way recipes are written can tell a story. A note in the margin might say, "For Christmas Eve only," or "Double this if the cousins come." These scribbled hints reveal how your ancestors adapted as their families grew, as new faces gathered around the table, or as they blended old traditions with new surroundings. Some ingredients might have once been expensive luxuries reserved for special occasions. Others might have been brought across borders in suitcases or trunks, linking your kitchen to distant villages, bustling ports, and quiet rural farms. Step into the living room, where strings of lights twinkle softly, and the tree stands proudly, decorated with ornaments reflecting family jokes, places traveled, and cherished memories. Somewhere in the background a melody hums. Perhaps it's a carol your grandfather sang without fail. He learned it from his father, who learned it from his own mother, and so on, each voice adding its own accent, rhythm, or favorite verse. Over time, this carol might have shifted slightly. Maybe a language changed, or a phrase was adjusted to fit a new homeland. Yet the essence remains, carrying a message of comfort and unity. Sing these songs as best as you can, even if the words feel unfamiliar. Let them remind you that your family once gathered in similar rooms, joined in by voices now distant in time. If the meaning of the lyrics is unclear, consider researching them or asking older relatives what they recall. Perhaps the carol was once sung to celebrate a harvest or welcome neighbors who trudged through snowy streets to share warm bread and stories. Understanding why a tune matters adds texture to its sound, grounding it in memory and purpose. Blending these recipes and songs uncovers a bridge between past and present. The gingerbread Grandma perfected might have once been a treasured treat in her old village, comforting her after a long journey to a new home. Grandpa's carol might have bolstered his spirits during challenging seasons, reminding him that better days lay ahead. When you bake these cookies or hum that tune, you invite these old comforts back into your life, acknowledging the families and friends who shaped your holiday spirit long before you were born. It's not just about looking back. With these inherited traditions, you shape the future. Perhaps you'll teach a younger family member how to roll the dough just right or encourage them to sing the old melody in their voice. Maybe you'll add a modern twist to an ancient recipe or pair an age-old melody with a new favorite song. Doing this keeps these customs alive and meaningful, ensuring they will carry on as long as someone finds joy in them. As the gingerbread cools and the last note of the carol fades, share these stories. Let children know why Grandma's cookies taste special, from recipes and traditions crossing years and oceans. Tell friends about the old song Grandpa loved and why his voice found strength in it. Through these conversations, what once seemed like simple family habits become beloved treasures layered with meaning and memory. When you return to these traditions each year, you don't just celebrate the holidays, you celebrate the very people who first baked those cookies and sang those carols. You welcome their quiet presence back into your home, warming the atmosphere as lights sparkle and hearts gather near. Grandma's gingerbread and Grandpa's carol are more than delightful holiday touches. They reflect who you are, where you came from, and how love and resilience journeyed through countless Decembers to reach you. Embracing these traditions is like listening closely to an old, familiar voice, reminding you that you belong in this long line of memory keepers, carrying the season's spirit forward. Thanks for spending time with me on the Ancestral Findings podcast. I always enjoy sharing these stories, tips, and discoveries with you. If you haven't already, head over to ancestralfindings.com, where you can download a free genealogy ebook, request a free lookup, and of course enter to win the next book giveaway. It's been an incredible journey together since 1995, and your support through these past 29 years means more to me than words can express. I'm so grateful for this wonderful community of genealogy enthusiasts who continue to inspire me every day. Keep up the great work on your family history research, and may your next find be as exciting as your first. Thank you again for being part of this journey, and as always, happy searching.